damn. If you don't see this as a direct shot at Zack Snyder by Warner Brothers, well, I don't know what to tell you. Well, welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and last night was the premiere of Joss Whedon's The Nevers. He's still credited as director, writer, creator of the show, and the show is a big, expensive show for HBO Max that I think they were hoping to bring some Buffy, Firefly magic to the HBO Max. However, Ray Fisher and camp obviously had other plans. The cast of Buffy and Angel and Ray Fisher himself have all been just attacking Joss Whedon all summer, and it seems that Joss Whedon is a bit of a jerk, I think, to put it mildly. I'm not here to defend Joss Whedon. I'm looking forward to Joss Whedon saying something about this, but he still has yet to do so. However, as last night's debut happened, this morning, HBO Max went out to all the trades and released the ratings information, calling it the best ever debut for an original series on HBO Max. Now, the reason this is very telling to me is because they still, weeks later, have yet to announce what the ratings were for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, you could take that a lot of ways, to be fair. You know, this doesn't prove anything. However, weeks later, they're not showing us the ratings. However, Joss's show is last night, and it's now the best ever debut. They managed to put that headline into the trades today. I mean, damn. That's cold-blooded, HBO Max. And people, of course, are already out there hating on this. HBO Max in a couple minutes. The Nevers is the best debuting object in the history of the universe, beating Zack Snyder's Justice League debut. I mean, dude's got a point. I mean, that's pretty much what they just did. Let's keep it 100. That is totally what they just did. This is wild to me. Now, look, I also need to step back from this objectively and think, all right, this is an expensive TV show they have on HBO Max that they needed to be a hit. They've removed Joss. Whatever the reasons where they actually removed Joss, who knows? Technically, he stepped down. He was stressed. Nothing else official has been said. One can assume other reasons, but he stepped down. And they have this show that they've replaced the showrunner. They're hoping to continue it. It's a very big concept. However, it's Joss Whedon's show and concept. So, and there's a lot of other talented people involved in the show, but let's be honest, this is a Joss Whedon show. So if this show is a success, I mean, it's going to put them in an odd bind, because then they're keeping Joss's whole vision and to keep moving forward, and then they're not continuing Zack's vision. I mean, people are going to take that in certain ways. Let's be clear. Now, but as I'm trying to get at, because they have this expensive show, they clearly need people to tune in week to week. They might be putting this out to sort of try to goose up the numbers and make it seem like, yeah, it did well. Let's make it seem like it did even better. That is a total potential reality. But either way, the fact that they chose to put a press release out and announce ratings for this the next day, and still weeks later not figure out some way to make the Snyder Cut seem like a hit, even a modest hit, is insane to me. Every streamer, I showed it before, Coming to America, biggest comedy yet on Amazon. Adam Sandler's, whatever, mystery, whatever that stupid was, biggest debut from a comedy star on Netflix. They always find some sort of generic title to don on a movie when it premieres on these streamers, if it's a big one, or they want some more attention, to sort of justify that it's a big monster hit. And that there's so many, and Netflix doesn't even really need to, because they have so many numbers. They just make their now fake trending thing, which who knows if that's even real. Everything on Netflix is sort of controlled by them. They eliminated the ratings, so you never actually know if a show's good, but you know it's trending, which is probably just stuff they're hoping you'll watch. So look, either way, it's clearly a marketing move, but it's totally a shot at Zack Snyder's Justice League. The fact that this is Joss Whedon's show, the fact that they are now promoting this and talking about how big of a hit it is, and the fact that they still won't even acknowledge and give Zack anything out the gate, or his fans, is very telling. And it's not just Variety, because here's Deadline doing the same thing. Premiere draws 1.4 million viewers across linear, best ever original series debut for HBO Max. And this came from HBO Max. great start for HBO. Sunday night's premiere of science fiction Victorian limited drama drew over 1.4 million viewers across linear telecasts and digital, including the best start for a new HBO Max original series, according to the premium cabler. So that means this isn't some third-party thing like we've heard with the Snyder Cut ratings. This is official from the network saying this is how it did. The debut episode surpassed viewership of recent dramas like Lovecraft Country, The Undoing. Viewership is expected to grow via additional telecasts and viewing across platforms, HBO said. Now, again, this is a show that has multiple weeks to go. This is clearly a trick to try to make it seem like, yeah, it's popular. Don't miss out on this new popular show. That's what most of these people do. But to say it did better than these other two shows is shocking. This show had Nicole Kidman, David E. Kelly's show with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. I loved it. Undoing was great. I have no interest in watching this, to be perfectly honest. Not because of the drama, just it's not my style of show. I'm shocked it did better than these shows, and I wonder if it's even true. But the fact that they get to have this sort of positive press release out there is wild. And look at this. Look how Deadline handles it. It's created and executive produced by Joss Whedon. Whedon stepped away from the series in November, saying he was genuinely exhausted, but remains credited as creator and executive producer. That's it. No outrage here. No comments from Snyder fans or anybody else or Ray trying to correct it. No, the trades are just moving on. As they should, because let's be clear, Joss hasn't... Well, I guess he has by the Buffy cast. It's surprising the Buffy cast stuff hasn't come forward. But look, even the Variety piece at least does sort of acknowledge Ray and the cast of Buffy and Angel. They announced the investigation included that they sum it all up here in the bottom with attached to his drama. But yeah, man, this is crazy because look, you look at this Deadline article. Here's how the ratings came in for Snyder Cut. Rank behind Wonder Woman 84 in households. And then here it is for Joss Whedon. Best original series debut for HBO Max. I mean, damn, that is cold. That is cold. I'm not laughing at a joy. I'm laughing at the balls on them to just be like, yep, F it. We're going to go through and let's give Joss's show a really good press release to make sure they get the attention. And then meanwhile, Variety, their last story on this was that Ann Sarnoff piece where they said they're done with the Snyderverse and they're not going to continue it, which she recorded even before all the ratings had come in. But proves she did it, I think, Friday or as opposed to Wednesday, and proves then she must have had some numbers by Friday to do the story. She didn't have the weekend numbers, but the thing came out Wednesday night, so clearly that she had a couple hours a couple days to sort of decide it. And this proves that HBO Max, that they're proving to you guys, they know the numbers the next day. They can declare a hit the next morning, which is always how it's worked with Nielsen ratings and everything else. So they know already how Snyder Cut did. They are refusing to say it officially, which tells me two things. It actually just didn't perform like the audience online thinks it did. That's a very high reality chance because, as I was saying on Midnight's Edge earlier today when we were on there, I just don't believe that the studio would throw away free money. If the thing was such a hit, they would want more, and they would keep Zack, happier to say, "Look, man, we're so sorry. Yeah, let's keep the door open." Instead, they went scorched earth pretty much. And we're like, "Yep, this is the completion of his trilogy. Wish him well." Meanwhile, New Gods, Ava DuVernay, and the Trench with James Wan, they're like, "Yep, we're canceling these movies, but if we ever come back, we will bring these two filmmakers back on. We're so grateful for their help." Blah 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 blah. Completely different sort of attitudes. So options here, it's just the ratings clearly just weren't very good, and that's what it is. Or there really is a nuclear war between Snyder and Warner Brothers that's never going to end, and that's sort of the whole issue. I think that's also true. And in which case, in that scenario, the ratings might be better than they want to admit, and they're not going to tell anybody for that very reason, which is pretty shady if that's the case. I could see either case, to be honest. I could see either case being true. But in either one, I still stand by it. I'm curious what you guys think. If this was a ratings juggernaut for HBO Max, Jason Kilar and even Ann Sarnoff, they would step up and be like, well, okay, we need more of that because that was a huge hit for us. It brought in all these subscribers, and we want to satisfy those subscribers. But they ultimately decided no, that it wasn't enough. But I'm curious what you guys think of the reality of the ratings. But again, just seeing this combo of Deadline covering the Nevers, Joss Whedon's Nevers, and then covering Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's hard to not acknowledge that yes, there is a bias out there. There's totally a bias. They want to show this as a failure, and now they're letting HBO Max show this as a success. And maybe that's just that reality. Maybe Zack's film was a failure for HBO Max's sake, and at the end of the day, we don't know the real official numbers. And maybe this one did actually show some real big signs for them that they're excited about. Joss is no longer involved. They're not saying Joss, but it's whatever you think of the show, it's Joss's show. Creator, producer, writer on this show. Someone else can come in and try and change where the world goes and do whatever they want. But if people are tuning in and liking this show, it's Joss Whedon's show. It's the reality of what. There's no other question about it. So Warner Brothers here clearly siding with Joss in this case and not Zack Snyder, which even I think is kind of shady. What do you guys think? I'm curious. If you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do. And check out these videos as well. This story down there on the left is fascinating. Make sure you click it. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.